Hey, welcome back. We've got an interesting chart today. I want to just jump right on into this. This is June the 5th, Hump Day. You know, when you look at charts, people talk about reading your astrological chart. I like to, rather than read the chart, I like to feel the chart. Now, you have to use some structure. I mean, that's what astrology is. It's a structure around reading these energies. But rather than just going through all the technical stuff and all the angles and the points and the descriptions and everything, I like to feel what that chart is saying. What is this feeling to me like? And boy, today's chart has some interesting feeling like. Well, there's that, but there's also some good part too. But let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. Because we have, first of all, a tense aspect. And it's a big one. I don't pull that sound effect out very often, but this one's worth it. Because Mars and the Moon for today are opposite the big three. What are the big three? Come on, you know if you've been listening to this. If you haven't been listening, I would really encourage you to go back to the earliest podcasts on here. It's not that far back. And listen about the big three. It's Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node. We are doing karmic business right now on a level that we have never seen on the planet. I've also talked about this on my other podcast, Subconscious Mind Mastery. Again, just here recently in the spring of 2019, around March or April, I have a podcast that is about the soul journey like we've never seen. So if you'd like to get caught up on those, there are a couple of resources back in the early days of this one and over on Subconscious Mind Mastery. But right now we've got this tension from Mars and the Moon and the North Node, which always is in opposition to the South Node. That's just how the nodes roll. But it also, now we've got Saturn sitting there in this mix and Pluto. So there's just this real tense energy around doing our soul work. Does that have to predominate your world? Answer is unequivocally no. I totally believe that choice, intention, focus, always work with these energies in an overriding type of way. So like, I'm not feeling this tension myself. Why? Because I'm aware of it and working with it every day. And yet I get on Facebook and I read about my conscious friends who are struggling. And I would say that those struggles are because of some of this tension. But I would say that this tension right now with Mars and Cancer, Mars, let's just put it this way, Mars is not so happy in Cancer. Mars is pulling on this thing right now. The Moon is very happy in Cancer because why? It rules Cancer. Exactly. So the Moon is happy, Mars is grumpy, and they're both pulling against Saturn and Pluto. Now, if you just know a little bit about astrology, can you kind of put all that together? Okay, I don't know that it's that, but I think it is tense with Mars. I'm not as worried about the Moon on this, but Mars looks a little testy. How could it show up? Well, I don't want to create things, because I really do think you can override this. I would just be aware of it. Be aware over the next couple of days of tensions around your karmic purpose, okay? Around emotions around your karmic purpose. And just, see, this is why I think listening to this and following this is so important. Set extra intentions. Rise above the fray. Realize that there is an energy vortex out there that could influence if allowed, and just set some real clear intentions. Do extra work this morning. If you have a spiritual practice, maybe an extra 10 minutes would be a good thing. Do some journaling. Do some prayer. Do some heartfelt intention setting. Okay, now I want to talk for just a minute about the other side of this, because this is what's so cool is even when you have something sitting there like that, then you look right in the middle of the chart and you have this beautiful Grand Trine between Venus, the Ascendant, and now this gets a little complicated, Pluto and Saturn again. For you techies, the reason I say it gets a little complicated is because with Venus and Saturn. It's a 7-degree orb. And I don't want to get bogged down in that, but you know what? I'm counting it. I'm going to count it in there. I think it is part of the Grand Trine. So I think Saturn is in on this. Why? Because I just see Saturn and Pluto's energy as arm-locked, basically. I'm seeing it that way. It's 3 degrees away from the big conjunction in 2020. Little astro speak here. But I just see them as working together so cooperatively, even though both are in retrograde. But I just see their energies as 1 and 2 right now. So there's this Grand Trine. And here's where my mind went with this. Think of the kids that are born today. Okay, the Ascendant. The way the chart is laid out, when the sun comes up on the morning on the day of your birth, that is the Ascendant. It is the, hey, welcome to the world. I'm shining, and that's why I'm here. Is influenced by Venus, which is at home in Taurus. And it's over there arm-locked with Pluto and Saturn. These kids born today are going to have a lifetime of just beautiful soul-based work. And not to throw too much onto the fire, this is a complicated chart. That's why I was like, there is just a lot going on with this puppy. But to throw another log on the fire between Saturn and the South Node and Pluto and Neptune are sextile, and then you go over and you've got another trine between Mars, the Moon, and the North Node. Oh, my goodness. That is some deep soul cool energy. So yeah, those who are coming into the world over the next couple of days are going to have one remarkable journey, and if you protrude that across the whole planet, you think about the karmic influence that these kids are going to have. Oh, I just touches my heart. Love this stuff.